Alright, what's up guys? So today I wanted to talk about some tips and advice for traveling to one of my favorite cities in the world, and that is Medellín, Colombia. I've been there maybe 5 or 6 times, hoping to get back real soon with the camera and the drone and do some filming, but absolutely fantastic place. So let's just jump right into some of these tips and advice I have for you. So number 1 is going to be utilize public transportation. The city has a great public transportation system, so go use the metro, use the metro cables, which are like the gondolas that go up into the hillside and the neighborhoods up in the mountains. Give you some great views, very cheap, and the implementation of the metro cable actually changed the dynamic of the city. It enabled the lower class people living up in the hills, the working class, to be able to more easily access the downtown, the main area of the city, instead of having to take like 1,000 steps back and forth up and down. The metro cables made it more accessible. And speaking of the metro and metro cable, a good way to spend one of your days is going over to Comuna 13. So Comuna 13 is used to be one of the most violent, deadliest neighborhoods in the world, and now it's turned into this kind of just artsy, it's a little bit of a tourist area, but it's kind of a must-do when you're in Medellín. It has a lot of really cool murals on the walls everywhere, lots of art, lots of street performers, street food, etc. There's even some escalators that are outdoor, which is pretty unique and cool to see, but it's a very just vibrant neighborhood, lots of stuff happening. And I remember the first time I went there is like the most alive I've ever felt, was standing there, and just so many smells, so many noises, the music, people driving motorcycles right past you. So it's a very, very lively spot, and it's cool to see a neighborhood transition from being, a really, really dangerous, bad place to something really super cool and positive for a city. And I think Comuna 13 kind of represents the city as a whole, how it's gone from, one of the most dangerous cities in the world to now this, hotspot of digital nomads and tourists and culture, and it's just a fantastic place to go now. So the first time you go to Medellín, I recommend staying in the neighborhood of Poblado. Poblado is the wealthiest, most modern area of Medellín, and it's kind of just a good, safe, reliable home base for your excursions, your adventures there. If you decide to go back, or once you decide to venture out a little more, you could go try and stay in Laureles or Envigado. Those are some other good neighborhoods in Medellín, but Poblado, a lot of tourists, but it's a good spot to stay if it's your first time there. So another thing to do while you're there is definitely just go to some rooftop restaurants or bars. They're usually on top of hotels or apartment buildings, but they're very cool, and the views are stunning. I mean, it's a beautiful city just kind of nestled in the mountains, and definitely one of the best way to take it all in is to go to a rooftop somewhere and have a meal or something, and there's plenty of them, so I definitely recommend doing that. Another thing to do while you're there is just take in the music. The city loves reggaeton. There's a lot of famous reggaeton artists from Medellín, so the city loves that music. You'll hear it playing everywhere, and it's super catchy. It'll get stuck in your head. But yeah, and if you like reggaeton, it's a great place to go because you'll hear it everywhere. So go listen to some reggaeton while you're down there as well. So while you're down there, a dish I recommend trying out is Bandeja Paisa, and it's kind of like the unofficial national dish, and it's like rice, beans, eggs, steak, sausage, and avocado all in one plate, and it's delicious, and it's really good, really filling. Paisa, Bandeja Paisa. Paisa is like the name for someone from Medellín. It's what they call the people from Medellín. And also, if you're wondering, Medellín versus Medellín, Medellín is how you would say it in Spanish. In Medellín, they say Medellín, so that's kind of the difference of the pronunciations there. Whatever you do, just don't say Medellín or anything like that. But Bandeja Paisa, really good. It's kind of the workers' meal, so it's super filling, and I definitely recommend trying it while you're down there. Something else that I actually haven't done but looks really cool and I plan on doing the next time I go is to go to Parque RV, which is a park just with walking trails and stuff up in the woods, up in the hills, and you take a gondola, metro cable up there to get there, and it looks really cool. So Parque RV could be something cool to check out. Another thing is a day trip to Guatapé, which is Guatapé is a little town, and with the big rock you'll see, it's pretty famous, and you climb up the stairs and see some great views of lakes and stuff. So that's another good day trip for sure. It's about a 2-hour drive from Medellín. Something else you could check out when you're there is, I mentioned it's become a big hotspot for digital nomads, so definitely just go check out like the co-working spaces, coffee shops they have, mix and mingle with fellow travelers, and yeah, there's some really cool spots down there for co-working, just hanging out, having a coffee, and everything is just super like green down there. They really love plants and putting plants in restaurants and in buildings, so just really good vibes. So definitely check out some of those spots as well. So just some safety tips. Most of it is just kind of common sense. I know a lot of people are a little apprehensive to go there because of the past history, but it's definitely a relatively safe place. The people are amazing, extremely friendly, and they're extremely passionate and proud about their country and their city, but mostly just common sense stuff. The first one is don't give papaya, and that's how they say it down there. It means don't give them a reason to rob you. So, obviously just don't go to like a neighborhood you don't know by yourself at night with like nice jewelry on and with your phone out or carrying your laptop or something. So just common sense, don't give them a reason to want to rob you. Another thing that's like a little more specific, and apparently there's been an uptick in this lately, is people getting drugged. So specifically getting scoped by a drug called scopolamine, and it's basically, from what I've heard, it kind of turns you into a zombie, and they'll give it to you, and they may not know the dose they're giving you, which is the first dangerous part, but then it turns you into a zombie, and then you will help them carry out a robbery of yourself, if that makes sense. So it's pretty scary, and there's definitely been an uptick lately in that. So my advice for that is common sense again, and then also if a situation seems too good to be true, it probably is. So just be cognizant of that, watch your drink, be aware of your surroundings, etc. And the last thing, not really safety, but kind of just courtesy, culture, is, don't go down there to be a Pablo Escobar tourist or a drug tourist. Yes, that's what the city used to be known for, but it's changed into so much more than that, and the people are proud of how far the city has come and how amazing a place it is now. And yeah, just don't go down there and talk about Pablo Escobar and bring up Pablo Escobar. And the last thing is really to just enjoy. I mean, it's a great city. It's kind of been found out now. It's not really a hidden gem anymore. I've heard it's become pretty touristy, but still, it's just a beautiful place. Lots of fun things to do. The food is amazing, and the people are just so proud of their country and their city. I can't recommend it enough. And yeah, hopefully you can take some of my advice and get down there soon and check it out. Thanks.